Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler V, Series V is I do for the one. I go over there, try out food and drink items. Eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I'm about to drink some root beer. And that typically makes me happy. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today, folks? Well, it happens to be my Valiant Thor shirt, which I love this shirt. It's so garish and ridiculous, and it just perfectly represents me. What, though, is Valiant Thor? Valiant Thor is a band that's been around for quite a while now, definitely well over a decade. Sort of a southern rock, southern metal, stoner metal band. Like, you know, they kind of blend a few different aspects. I became aware of them years and years ago. George Bush Jr. was in office at the time, to give a frame of reference as to when I got into them. It was a long time ago. But, yeah, you know, I got into their stuff pretty early on. Really enjoyed it. Thought they were really cool. And then I was fortunate enough, several years ago, they ended up playing a show at a venue not too far from where I live. And I just loved it, man. Like, I thought they were really awesome. I ended up kind of hanging out a little bit with the lead singer. The rest of the band basically bailed on him when it came time to go over there and, like, you know, put the merch in the trailer. So I helped him out with that a little bit. And I got a free shirt out of it. So aside from the free shirt, I also got some videos of their performance that I took. They're on this channel as well, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music is concerned. I think they're a really awesome band. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, this is a root beer review. Now, with this being a root beer review, I must mention that I have an entire playlist called Root Beer Reviews, which is a playlist of just root beer reviews. Because I love root beer. Now, this specific root beer comes because I went to a little gas station chain called Boom Casey's, and I went over there and I reviewed some ham and Swiss sliders. You can go watch that review if you're interested. But I wanted something to wash it down, you know, wet my gullet, as it were, and, well, they have, Boom! They have their own branded root beer. In fact, they have an entire line of just Casey's branded sodas, which is kind of cool, you know, you think about that stuff with supermarkets. Not always when it comes to, like, gas station and convenience store chains. Some of them do, but not all of them. So I figured, what the fuck, man? I'm sure I've had Casey's root beer before, but I couldn't tell you when. Let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like this. Ha 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 ha. Let's find out how good it is or isn't. I'm hoping it's good, because I am very thirsty. It's got a nice root beer smell to it. If I had to guess before I go in, I'm guessing it's probably going to be along the lines of, like, maybe a mug or an A&W. But we'll see. Yep. That is basically just a shittier version of mug or A&W. Yeah, it's not great. Like, it's not terrible, but there is so little to grab hold of on this, it's kind of ridiculous. And I say that, like, I've reviewed some cheapo root beer. In fact, not too long ago, I reviewed Kroger's. Their Big K or whatever the hell root beer it is. You know, their branded stuff that you can get at their locations. And I actually kind of liked that. I like it, you know, it had its flaws, but, like, overall, I was kind of willing to give it to it. This, yeah. So, when it comes to root beers, I my personal philosophy, when you're talking about commercial root beers, there's basically two camps that sort of you kind of tend to fall into. You have, like, your mugs and your A&Ws, which are very sweet root beers, kind of basic in their flavorings, you know, but very commercial, easy to market to basically anybody. They're good, but, you know, then you have, like, your Barks and, like, your Dads, right? And those are more what I consider to be root beers, you know, and I'm not trying to gatekeep or anything, you know, it's just my personal interpretation. They're a little bit harsher, They've got a little bit more complexity going on with them. And for me, they're what I like in a root beer. So I fall more into that camp. This definitely is in that first camp, that mug A&W. It is very one note. The flavor isn't terrible or anything, but there's nothing to it. Like it really is just a very generic sweet root beer flavor. And that's fine. Again, it has its place, but like, I feel, like again, going off like the Kroger stuff, that really did prove to me that like, hey, you can go over there and you can have a generic root beer, but still, give it a little personality, a little something, something. This does not have any personality. It is just a basic bitch root beer. It has maybe the tiniest bite from the carbonation, but even that fades out really quickly, and it really is just one note. Oh, wow. Best thing, it really does kind of have elements of both Mug and A&W. It's closer to Mug, though. Like, between Mug and A&W, I probably prefer A&W. Because at least A&W, it does have something to it. Mug is just Mug. It used to be my favorite root beer as a kid. Then I became a little bit more discerning with my taste, my palate, and I don't dislike it, but it's not very impressive. This just tastes like a less impressive Mug. At least Mug, yeah, it's kind of one note, but it does have its own identity, its own sense of personality. This just tastes like if basically you had like the runoff from Mug, just the fucking stuff that was like, yeah, this is like the crap batch, that's what it tastes like. It tastes like, to use an analogy, if you take a band like Nickelback, which is already pretty terrible, and don't let the internet try to fool you. Oh, people only started disliking Nickelback because blah, blah, blah. No, I was there when Nickelback started. We hated them too, or hated them then as well, okay? They sucked from the get-go. But then you have a band like Theory of a Deadman, who basically just dug out the fucking trash of what Nickelback was putting out and became even worse band, because they had less ideas and are just as awful. That's basically this is the Theory of a Deadman of root beer. And to be fair, some people like Theory of a Deadman. I've known people who do. That's fine. I don't, but, it's okay if you do. Yeah, it's very basic. It's very basic, and it's not that great, and it'll get the job done if you absolutely need to, but 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? No. It's just no. If you're going to get a root beer, look, I get that as, a convenience store branded soda, like, they're obviously not going to put in, a ton of effort, and who knows, it's probably just from some generic bullshit freaking, place that they got it from for super duper cheap. I get it. I understand the ins and outs as far as that's concerned. But you're also putting your name on it, And I feel like the thing is, it's like, you're already at a gas station. Why wouldn't you just get an actual root beer? Why wouldn't you just get yourself an A&W or a Mug or a Barks if you got it? Whatever your taste may go with. It's fine to put out something, kind of the value for money type of thing. But, like, the price isn't vastly different, Like, I can't recall it off the top of my head, but, like, it wasn't worlds apart. And for me, it just feels like, if you're going to do that anyway, just get, like, a real root beer. That's what I would do. And if I'm recommending it, it's that same logic. It's like, maybe the other Casey soda flavors are better, but their root beer kind of sucks. It's not great. And if you want a root beer, root beer is a special soda, I feel. And all sodas have their own, but like root beer's got some heart to it. And for me personally, just get yourself some good root beer, treat yourself. Or if you're going to get some budget root beer, again, just go to like a Kroger store. Their stuff is pretty decent too. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of the year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly root beer-tastic rest of your life, because when it's root beer, it's always root beer-tastic, but get yourself some proper root beer. Final two things. Number one, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated, but what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's what I want you to go out and do. Let me know. Give me your feedback about my personal philosophy when it comes to root beer. Again, kind of talking about the two camps. Do you think that there's something to what I'm talking about, or do you think I'm just completely talking out my ass? I think for myself personally, like, obviously I've been repeating it now for quite a while. I think it makes sense to me, but like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe you have your own take on root beer. Is there, something that I'm missing? I'd be really interested to kind of, hear about it and, your own personal philosophies on one of my favorite drinks. But anyway, folks.